All right, y'all, what to do, what it is. You already know the vibes. It's your boy, Mr. Bell, back with another episode of Hold Up and Another Thing presented by Mixed Vibes Media. Y'all already know what's going on. But as always, I got a guest with me. This time I reached out of my friends list and bought a special guest, a young lady that's already that's an expert in the pod game. You know what I'm saying? Let me make sure I slow down and get this right because I don't want to butcher her name. I already asked about pre-pod, like doing some practice rounds.
Oh yeah.
Miniimah Muhammad, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, how you doing today?
Good. Can't complain.
I am glad.
Chill on the weekend. We'll go back to work tomorrow. So, it's during these last few hours we got off.
That's the worst part about Sundays is them last couple hours you already looking at like, oh, okay, I gotta go ahead and start getting ready, get clothes laid out, with me, like I'm a sales rep, so then I gotta get my iPad charged. I gotta do all these extra steps to get to work. It's like when Sunday, that Sunday 4:00, I feel like everything gone. Just so
much. Yeah, and then time fly by even faster. Like on Sunday.
Yeah, Saturday's a blink to me. I can't speak for nobody else, but Saturday's a blink. Like I said, I appreciate you taking the time out to do the podcast.
No problem. Thank you for having us on.
No problem. Well, first, like I said, you're an expert in the podcast game. What's the name of your podcast? Let the people know.
Oh man, we still feel like we were rookies because we still learning. But thank you for that. We are QueenCandi, and we are the host of the QueenCandi podcast. And mainly, going back to our last name, we are Muslim, so we always teach Islam. We talk about our life story, different situations we have been through. We try to keep a positive vibe, motivate, teach, and just give our mistakes and stuff we done made, and we're gonna have some great interviews. Almost 2 years now. October 11th will be 2 years since we switched over to doing podcasting because we were doing radio before when we lived in Atlanta about 2 years ago. But going on 2 years doing our podcast. So yeah, it's grown. So like you said, we thank Allah. He is the greatest that has helped us get to a bigger platform because it's nothing that we did, but yeah, we still feel like we learning always. And
you said you started, so you was in radio first. How long was you in radio before you became the podcast?
Lived in Atlanta about 14 months, so about that same time.
So like I said, expert fits. And I see it. Expert fits to me because you doing the podcast for 2 years and you was on the radio. So in my eyes, we had three plus years of this space. So was the radio show go along the same message as far as the podcast?
Yeah, we would say that. We was doing online radio in Atlanta, and we was on 4 different stations when we left. So yeah, it was 4 before we left. So it's about the same. Honestly, we would just say it's a different platform than podcasting. Because podcasting, you kind of get a little more personal, especially when you have like the guests and stuff on there, and whatnot. Radio, you still can play music, people call in, and so on and so forth. But that would be the only difference we would say is it's a little more. You get a little more close with the guests because y'all talk a little bit more. But radio, you kind of just have one real quick interview and y'all keep moving. But yeah, we would say that. Yeah.
All right, 4 stations. Oof.
That's if we can remember. It's been 2 years. I think it was WMQG Radio, Artist Network Radio, D100 Radio, and ARS Atlanta. So we was on 4 different stations.
That's an achievement.
I remember.
I'm telling you, I would have forgotten. That's an achievement itself to be on 4 radio stations and to be doing a podcast for 2+ years. So
with the podcast, we was kind of slacking a little bit until we got on the CTR Media Network, so that kind of pushed us to keep putting out content and keep putting out more shows, and like we said, it's helped our show grow. And people actually giving reviews. It's a 5-star rated show now. So we done got like 25-star views on iHeartRadio and a couple on, I think, Podpage. Because we're on altogether 24 different platforms, including 2 networks, and we're back on the radio, so we're on 2 radio stations now here in Indiana. No, I bet. We're in Indiana. What state they in? We forgot this. South Carolina, something like that. We forgot what. We're in Indiana. We got to know where they at. Indiana, South Carolina, North Carolina, one of the 2. But they're in Eastern time, so yeah. How she don't know where they at?
I was going to say, you're going to be like, she don't know where she live at. So she just. But you went.
It's like Manville, baby. Yeah, Manville. Well, we be trying to remember, but yeah, I think they're in South Carolina, North Carolina, somewhere. But yeah, all together now we on 20 different platforms. Y'all can, and we'll say at the end again, but y'all can go find us almost about anywhere. Anywhere you can find the podcast, you can. Any streaming platform. And we'll give all that at the end of the show, but yeah, any streaming platform, y'all can find us.
Most definitely. So I listen. Me and my friend, we listen to your podcast, and one of the first things first you do a great job in your positivity.
Thank you.
That's great. But the music, where is the music coming from?
Glad you asked. We should bring our husband on the camera real fast. But also 2018, we are also a spoken word artist / rap artist, because Hubby trying to just on the rap side as far as doing music. So we do both, a little bit of singing. We switched over from using other people's music to making our own beats. And we on a record label with our husband that's called Military Camp Records. He's been doing it 20+ years now. We just came on as the co-CEO. So he taught us how to produce and make our own beats. So everything that y'all hear on our show is something that we made. It's original music. You ain't gonna hear it nowhere else. So those beats that we did.
Like I said, the positivity step is amazing on the pod. But then you heard the music. Let me commend you on the music too, because the music is really good. Like, not even just saying it because you're the guest. Like, the music is really good.
Thank you. We thank our husband for that. Because our first album, we do our own music as well, but he got his own producing our own beats, and we watched him. How many times you watched him? Like 2 or 3 times, something like that. 2 or 3 times, and we was gone from there.
Fast learner.
Because we watch. So it's not hard, really, y'all. For anyone that's gonna see it, it's not hard to make your own beats. It's really not.
No, it is hard. It's hard. Let's not, just because you do that, let's not go out here telling people they can just do stuff. It's not easy. It's not. I done sat in studios. I done sat in studios. I done seen people do their thing. They look at me and say, "You want to get over it?" Now I'm gonna stay in my lane. Let y'all continue to do great things over there, and I'm gonna stay back here. So it's not easy.
Yeah, you gotta have an ear. You gotta really have an ear. And we love music, and our husband does too. So that's one of the things we have in common. And we work together. We see each other 24/7. So you just really gotta have an ear for it. And we try to do a little bit of rap, still spoken word, and we try to keep it, what's what we look for, versatile, if you will. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you gotta have an ear for it. It ain't for everybody. So we will say that much. It ain't for everybody. But we love doing it.
So now I gotta ask, say the record label one more time and tell me about the record label.
Oh yeah, the record label is called Military Camp Records. Like we said, our husband started about 20 years, right? 20 years, about 20 years. Before we met, of course. um, and he can probably tell you a little bit better, but he's been running about 20 plus years. We're on it. He's of course the owner of the record label, so he makes his own music and beats as well. He's been on Billboard. We done some major stuff. So you think you're impressed with us? You'll be impressed with him too, straight up, because he done been on Empire with Chicago PD, Chicago Fire, Chicago Mayor. He done do a little bit of everything. But we just say all that to say, yeah, he's been doing a little bit of everything for 20 plus years now. Yeah, we're looking for artists where we can say, we make our own music. We don't promote nobody else. We support each other because that's what black people don't do enough of. Yeah, that's about it. So yeah, and that's me, but Military Camp Records. We're the co-CEO, so we're the CEO, we're the co-CEO. And we're gonna be putting out new music hopefully next year, baby, about 2023. So y'all keep a lookout. So yeah, he's been doing that 20 plus years, and we definitely look for people to join the label. So and just y'all can go on Facebook and go online and look it up too. Just type it in Military Camp Records. Hmm? Yeah.
All right. So once you left the radio and then you went to the podcast, was it still like it was like a scratch you couldn't was it itch you couldn't scratch that what made you want to start the podcast? That you wanted to continue to get your message out? Is that what made you could start the podcast back up or start a podcast?
Well, yeah, to be perfectly honest, we were in another relationship when we were in Atlanta, and when we left and that ended, we well, it was one radio station on we were on together. The other three, a friend of ours at the time helped us get on, so we kind of cut ties with her and cut ties with that. So we just said, it's time to move on. It's time to do something else, and
Right.
they felt like a lot of people do that. Oh, you ain't gonna make it without me. You ain't gonna be successful. You ain't gonna do nothing. So we were actually on someone else's platform. And then it's like here, it's like you're not getting paid. You're promoting somebody else's business and their other platforms. So we just kind of went on Google Play where you can download the apps, and all
Mm-hmm.
we did was type in podcast recording, and Anchor was the first one that popped up. So we signed up for that, and it just went from there. Now, this is before we started learning Islam and before we started wanting to put a positive vibe and teaching our message to everybody out there. We really got serious with it a couple months ago. Like we said, when we signed on with CTR Media Network, and we realized this is the platform we can use to get out to more people. And, we don't know what's going to happen, but we definitely hope to keep that positivity going and, teach and be a leader. And, it's all the above, what you just asked, all the above. That's our ultimate goal is to, like we said, we just upfront and honest. We teach Islam. We mentioned Allah, we mentioned Elijah Muhammad almost every episode. I don't know if y'all heard that or not. But, yeah, that's the ultimate thing. So what we hope to do with our show is to keep that positivity going because it's not enough going on as it is, and just to really let people know like we done been there. We still there. We're still trying to make it, one day at a time. And if we can get to where we are, especially for Black women, you can too. So you really don't have an excuse. And we have 4 kids, so even starting out when we was first doing music and modeling stuff, we was homeless. Like, and we don't tell a lot of people that we was homeless. So we still didn't let that stand in our way, and that's how we got here now.
Okay, that's a testimony. That's a testimony right there. Yes, it is.
Oh yeah.
One more question because I want to get on something you said about Black people not supporting each other. But before we get there, let me ask you one more question. What's your process of coming up with your topics or your guests? How do you formulate the podcast? Because I'm doing this by myself. Sometimes I always got to call for help because I was like, well, I feel like I talked about that. I feel like I talked about this, or what can I like? What haven't I done? So I always got to ask for help. So what's your process of coming up with stuff?
We don't have one.
Okay.
We don't. Sometimes no, for real, like, no, real talk. We'll get everything set up, our DJ, laptop, whole 9 yards, microphone, everything. And while we playing the first track on the show, we look on the phone like, what the hell we about to talk about? We don't have no topic. We don't, and when we do come up with one, we don't really write anything down. We just kind of, a lot of it tells we to speak off the top of our head. So a lot of times, and that's why we kind of love doing interviews. We love doing our solo, but we love doing interviews because we have somebody to bounce off of. But if we don't, of course we do our solo. But no, we don't have a process at all. We just kind of have a format of how we want the show to go. So when y'all come through and check it out, you'll hear us play a track. We'll come in, introduce ourselves, hey everybody, how you doing? Hope y'all say blah blah blah. Then we'll play like 3-4 tracks after that. Then come in with the topic and then just talk for the rest of the show. So it's just kind of a format that we have. But honestly, we don't plan nothing at all.
I wish I could do that. I wish I had the same. I wish, I wish I could do the solo. I think I have done maybe one solo pod, and it felt, I did it like for 15, it was like 15 minutes long. It wasn't long at all. I'm always used to having guests or, somebody come on and have conversation with me. Between y'all, y'all do your thing over there. Between, get that podcast by yourself and without guests, and then the music. Again, I'm going to keep going back to that music because music's good. It's just positivity.
Appreciate that. Honestly, that's just the beginning because we promote our own show. Everything come out of our pocket that we spend, like we said, DJ equipment, laptop. We just started learning how to make our own flyers. So everything we doing by ourselves. So and we gotta actually have a schedule out, y'all, for real. So it's a whole process. We don't just get on and do the show. It's a whole process, and we do it twice a week. So it's some work.
Yeah. I listen. Let me tell you, I got this podcast. I got this podcast, and I got another podcast because I'm actually with my own media company. So we got this podcast, and then we got another podcast that I do with the rest of the group. And let me tell you, like the promoting and all that stuff by myself, I can handle that. But to get on the microphone and talk by yourself,
you gotta keep them entertained because people have a real short attention span, so you gotta keep their attention. So we don't know how long people come in. We see our analytics every week, so we see people listening, but it doesn't say how long they be on there. But regardless, you got to keep their attention. You don't care if it's video or audio because we're doing both now. But yeah, it's a whole process. You gotta keep people's attention.
That's the key about doing podcasts. So the key about radio is keeping people's attention. But to switch gears from the podcast, you said something that there wasn't a part of the conversation, but I think it's important to discuss. Black people not supporting each other like we should.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
Why? Well, to be honest, because that's what we've been taught.
Okay.
We've been taught how to hate. We've been taught how to be angry. We have been taught how to be evil. I've been programmed on how to be evil since we was brought over here. We don't know how to even love ourselves, let alone, applaud and clap somebody else for what they doing. We don't see it. From what we've seen our people destroy each other, kill each other, rob each other, steal somebody's man, steal somebody's woman. We rarely ever see support. And it's like we always in a competition with each other. Like, say we both doing a podcast or whatever. Like, if you was to just ran us up and say, hey, I got such and such going on. Even if we're in a part of it, would you promote it for me? Yeah, we'll do that. So what? We're in the same field, but we're not in competition. But that's how a lot of our people think. Like, it's not. It's room for everybody. And we can't get no respect from each other. But we gonna respect other people. That's why we say that.
I always lean it towards jealousy. I always tell people, I think a lot of it is we see one of our own. Now, let me say this: it's not for all of us, because some of us do support each other. But for the larger demographic, we see somebody else gaining or going above and beyond, and we feel like, okay, that should be us, or they got a break that I didn't get, so it should be me. So they gonna try to pull it. So instead of trying to lift another black person up, they end up pulling them down. They find ways to hate.
And you know how much energy that takes to hate when you can get off your behind and do the same thing. It takes so much energy to say, I don't like you because you're doing too good. I don't like you, you're being too successful. Instead of just saying, hey man, how did you get on? I might want to do the same thing. But that would be too much like doing right.
And that leads into us. A lot of us is fearful. We scared to ask for help. We fearful of rejection. So instead of asking such and such how they got here or how they got to this level, we'll just be envious of it and be jealous of it and hate on it instead of, it's a simple conversation. Because a lot of people that got to where they at, they don't mind giving you some words of advice or, saying, I wouldn't do it this way, I will go this way. Give you a little criticism. They might not give you the full game because some of them might be up on their high horse and be like, nah, I won't keep you down there. But it's a lot of them that will. That's one thing I wish we would do more of instead of being jealous of one another, try to help one another.
Yeah, that will be, and we love you said fear. That's number one thing that hold our people back. Fear. You got to get rid of that. That's gonna keep you at a little standstill. It's gonna paralyze you, and it's gonna do like what you just said. You ain't gonna wanna do the right thing and be like, hey, how you get on? I want to do the same thing you're doing. We'll give you advice. We don't care because we're not in competition. If you check us out, you do. If you don't, you don't. It is what it is. But we understand our show is not for everybody, and that's the same thing with other people. So you just like we would say, you really have to love yourself. You really have to stay in your lane. Ain't nothing wrong with helping your brother with something next to you, but don't pull it up. We can shut a lot of this down. We just pull people up. It don't take much.
I would say it don't take much, and it's not a problem helping one another out. That's why a lot of people come to me asking me about podcasts because I've been on 2 pod. Well, I'm really 3 because we do a sports pod. We do it every once in a while. That was kind of we do it when we. But so let's say 2 pod, like 2+ years, and people always asking me for advice, and I don't mind giving them advice and telling them, how they can get better, or not even necessarily get better, or just how I do it. Because, like you said, my show might not be for everybody, and how I do my show might not be for everybody. So I'm just telling people this is what I do. But the first thing I always tell people about doing a podcast is make sure you have fun. Because if you ain't having fun, they gonna hear it on the other side. Nobody's gonna want to listen to you. So have fun. It's the first
thing. They can tell.
If it's
they can tell in your voice. They can tell in your voice.
Why would I want to listen to a conversation that's forced?
No.
What does that got to do with anything? But yeah, so like I'm saying, I'm glad you said something about that. But you also talk a lot about women empowerment.
Yeah.
Why does that message hit home to you so much?
Because we used to be one of them women that had low self-esteem. We used to be one of those women that didn't love ourselves. We used to be one of those women that would accept any kind of behavior just to have somebody say they love us. We used to be, actually, we're still kind of antisocial. But we pushing ourselves to start talking to people, gradually, but we stay to ourselves a lot. But we used to be so like in a cocoon, like we was afraid to speak up. We had that fear, like we just said, of speaking up or standing up for ourselves or just even being ourselves, and that caused part of the heartache and pain that we went through because, like you said, we accepted a lot of behavior because we didn't know how to love ourselves. And we talk about that a lot on our show about that transition. And learning Islam it played a big role in that because it brought us peace and we had to accept a lot of things, let a lot of things go out there, and really just like heal and move on. Just accept that, okay, it is what it is. We went through what we went through. Number one thing we have to tell ourselves is you're not a mistake. You're not anybody burden or anything. Yeah, you messed up. You did what you did. Okay. And you can do about it now. But now we accepted that. You're never going to be perfect. You're going to keep messing up. And, you just get up every day and put your best foot forward. Put out the best part of you. And everybody may not feel it. They may feel it. Who knows? But one few things we really had to learn with that was you can't control other people. We had to tell ourselves that we love ourselves and start taking better care of ourselves. That's something else we weren't doing. And for a long time, we were seeking approval from our mom and family and relationships and friends and our exes and whole 9 yards. And another thing that hit home for us and why we so passionate about it now is because you don't need that from other people. It all starts with yourself. That's where it starts. That's why it's called self-love, self-motivation, self-acceptance, because it all starts with yourself. And if you don't know how to love yourself or accept yourself, who will?
What if it's one thing, because it's a lot that goes into accepting yourself and loving yourself, and to be able to get yourself out of the mind frame of that a person's not enough, that you are enough. What is one thing that you can tell a woman that what's one piece of advice you can give them? What's one thing you could tell them to say, this is a way maybe will help you think?
Woo, we can go
a lot.
Ways with that. Yeah, but first thing that pops in my head is accept and love yourself. We have an 18-year-old daughter. She just turned 18 the 13th of this month. And we always try to teach her, and she has to listen on some level. So that's a good thing, that you don't have to accept any kind of behavior you don't want to. You're not obligated to do a thing you don't want to do. You can stand up for yourself and still be a lady about it. You got to be all ghetto and ratchet and whole 9 yards. But, accept and love yourself, because if you don't, you're going to accept a whole bunch of behavior, and you're going to be looking up one day like, how did I get here? Like, what happened? It's going to happen. We can tell you before it's finished, right before your eyes. Straight up. But accept and love yourself, ladies. You're beautiful. And you ain't got to have a face full of makeup or a hair full of weave or nails, as y'all can see how we dress. So just accept and love yourself, regardless of if other people do.
That is true. All right, so like I said, I want to talk to you about the Little Mermaid situation. Little Mermaid.
Oh boy.
So Disney, they doing the live action Little Mermaid, and they used Halle Bailey. I was going to say Bird. Well,
it was Halle, right?
Yes. Yeah. She's starring in the role, and she got a lot of backlash because she's of African American descent. So many places we can go with this podcast, with that conversation. Mm-hmm. But what's just your initial thoughts when you seen that all the backlash that came back from it?
And you know what? Before you sent that link, I saw like bits and pieces on Instagram and Facebook, and we didn't really pay attention. We saw the headline, don't get us wrong, but we didn't really pay attention. We like, she's playing a Little Mermaid. We're like, okay, yeah, whatever. But then we found out about the backlash. So we read the link that you sent, and we was mad. Like, why is it? This is how society goes. This is how this world goes. This is what I'm missing to teach. Why is it every time a black person want to be a lead or they want to step up and do something, it's an issue? And we can almost bet it was a lot of white people that was coming with that backlash. Probably some black people too, but a majority of them was white people. We can always tell you that. And our thoughts was like, if she want to play the role, let her play the role. They picked her for a reason. You know, number one. And number two, it's a fictional character. She ain't even real. Who cares if she white or black? She's not even real. Y'all trying. It's a fictional character, y'all. She's not real. Who cares if she white or black? Another thing, y'all want to keep this little fancy in your daughter's head. Give them the truth. Who cares? Well, and if they even ask, well, you know, they're probably trying to go take a different route, sweetie. You know, we understand some girls out there, 7, 8 years old. We got a 12-year-old daughter too. But there's so many ways we can go about this, man. But they picked her for a reason. We don't know why. Obviously, they was trying to go a different route. Maybe do something different. Would it be in 2022? We don't know. All we know is we applaud her. Because a lot of people ain't going to like that. But that's what's wrong with this whole world. That's what's wrong with society. Like we said, since we were brought over here, we were taught to be oppressed. We were taught not to stand up. We were taught not to fight. We still, and people, you don't know why you think this, but we still ain't got no equal right. You see what's going on with old girl right now. You can't even play a role without people getting offended. And there's another movie with Viola Davis, because she was getting backlash for that movie too.
And I heard that
like, yeah, we're gonna check it out. I think it's on Netflix or something like that. We don't know, but we're gonna check it out. But I think it was a Woman King or something like that. Woman King, okay, yeah. But yeah, we heard she was getting backlash for that too. We was like, so a black woman can't. So we got to play a hooker or a stripper or a prostitute or something ghetto. That's what y'all want to see. But we be trying to do positive stuff, whether it's fictional or not. And it's like, don't nobody want to see us succeed. That's why our people don't support each other, because of this. You know, so it's so many ways we can go about it. But we honestly applaud it. We don't even care how much you got paid. Hey, you doing what a lot of girls wish they could do, you know. And
you spoke on why they picked her. Well, I'm gonna be honest. The reason they picked her because she was talented.
Yeah, so we heard the music. Her and her sister, they can sing. They do acting.
They can
a little bit of everything. So we know who she is. Yeah, we know who they are. But they got some talent, and they do their own music too. Because we saw one of them. They was doing a video on TikTok where they was playing their own beat with long nails. We like, what the? We couldn't even do that. We don't even wear no nails, so we can't. But yeah, they got talent, man. That's probably why. Like you said, we don't know personally why she was picked, but they picked her for a reason, because we pretty sure they might audition other people. We don't know, but you know, let us be great, man. We don't need your permission anyway, because we already the original. So let the girl be great. Let Viola Davis do her thing. They had to. It ain't easy for us, especially being a black woman in the industry. Number one, it's already hard. So y'all want to come make it harder just because of this? Make it make sense to us when you talking to us, please.
It doesn't make sense, and I don't think it ever will make sense.
No.
And I hate to say that, I don't think it ever will make sense because we're looking at it from our side of the fence. But in my eyes, I'm looking at it as, why y'all, like you said, it's a fictional character. Why y'all mad about a fictional character being black? That just, to me, that never would make sense. It just shows it's so much hate in y'all heart towards us. And then, you know, it goes back to why a lot of black people don't help other black people. It's a lot of jealousy.
Yep.
You wish you was more
that could be a reason too.
You wish you was more like us. You wish you looked like us. You wish you talked like us. You wish you walked like us. You wish you did everything we did. Except who y'all are. But, I gotta get out of here before the time run out. Just tell the people what they podcast and the music and all of that. Finish promoting the podcast.
Yeah, well, we'll keep it short and sweet, y'all. Y'all can check us out on any streaming platform under the QueenCandi podcast. We're also available on WJR and WNK Radio Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also on the CTR Media Network and WBGR TV. Y'all can follow both their Facebook pages. We're on WBGR TV every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Y'all can also go check out our music, which is also available on any music streaming platforms. Our song Selfish, I Am, National Anthem, which will now be called Free to Be Me, and I Am on any music streaming platform. We believe that. Oh, yeah. Y'all can also go check out Military Camp Records. Y'all can type it in on Facebook, Google. Check us out on there as well. And I think that's about it. Yeah, we said we're gonna working on new music. Hopefully next year. Gonna be all produced and written by us, and of course our husband as well. So y'all can follow his Facebook as well, Miniimah Muhammad, and his other Facebook, which is KLG Baby. He ain't listening, but KLG. You know what I'm saying? Your Facebook is KLG. Your other Facebook page. KL Jizzle. KL Jizzle. Yeah. Yeah, as well. Yeah, we're working on new music, y'all. So we also looking to do interviews, play music on our show, sponsorship, advertisement. So we're definitely looking to work with everybody. So that's about it.
All right. Well, you're the only person I've ever had to been a guest on a podcast, and they had to promote more than two things. But that is a sad.
To take a day off, like. So I bang, and then we work a full-time job during the day too. So we do that, and sometimes we come home and be dead tired, got to get on and do our show. It would be like,
But like I said, that speaks to how good you are at doing what you do. Like I said, expert fits perfectly. You should add that to the resume. Expert podcast.
You know what? We were thinking about that yesterday. We need to put everything we do on his resume for real, because until you see it, and we didn't even realize it until we actually had to send somebody our links in our bio because we were guests on their show. We was like, good Lord. Okay, chick, you don't need to put nothing else on your schedule because you fools. Don't put nothing else on here. You good. When we got back on the radio, we was like, okay, yeah, that's it.
That's enough. That's enough. You know, 2 radio shows, a full-time job, a podcast, and also being a parent and a wife. Yeah, it sounds like it's a lot.
Yeah. You know, we get tired some days, of course. That's natural, but you know, one thing that does help is our husband is a real big support in everything that we do. So you know that also helps. So. Well, that's just a schedule type thing, so we have to find a way to balance everything else, so we don't feel like we're about to lose our mind or something and just feel like we're overwhelmed. So yeah, we take like one day off. We don't promote. We don't talk to nobody. None of that. We just hit you up yesterday because we know our interview was today. But normally we have our messenger on silent. We don't get on we don't get on Facebook. None of that. Because we got in our brain like 6 days a week promoting, recording, networking, hosting. Like we say, we do everything ourselves. So it can be a lot, but you know what? We love what we do. So, and we still don't always be growing and learning. So
you gotta make sure you take an off day. But thank you for doing the podcast.
Thank you.
Yeah, really appreciate it. So y'all know what time it is. Another episode is about to close. But thank y'all for listening to Hold Up and Another Thing, presented by Mixed Vibes Media, and we'll catch y'all the next time.